Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays. Yeah.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome to another episode of ASAP in the Morning. Obviously, it is your boy Pride, joined by Coach Dante, Bishop, and Michael. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Another morning, another Monday. Football, it's been very good. Basketball's been very good. I'm ready to get down. Let's get down to
it. Coach Dante. Rockets going on a little win streak. You don't know how to act. Bishop, one, man.
I know that.
One. And don't worry, and Gritty, don't worry. I'm about to be pressing Bishop with this in a minute because he already bailed. He bailed on poor Jalen Hurts. Jalen all of a sudden is trash, and they need to trade him. So
I didn't know
him and I.
But I do know that y'all was calling Minshew dumpster juice, and he pulled out a win yesterday. I said
he was dumpster. Who was I comparing him to? I said he was dumpster juice, but I was comparing him to somebody.
Yeah, but he pulled out a win. Somebody. Yeah, you were. I forget who it was, but you were.
Yeah. But I was comparing him to somebody.
You were.
But at the end of the day, he's still not better than Jalen Hurts. I don't care.
I agree with that too.
Okay. Okay. I thought all of a sudden you were gonna dip on me.
No, I'm just saying. I was at that point in time. At that moment, I was saying Jalen Hurts. Bishop is. Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan. You damn right.
He's an Eagles fan, just not a Jalen Hurts fan. It's weird.
No, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan too because he came from OU. Come on, bro.
Yo, Philadelphia is like the same thing as Miami fans, right? They love the team and hate the young quarterback. The young quarterback, they refuse to give time. They refuse to give a chance. They refuse to give opportunity. It's wild, bro. It's wild.
I don't hate Jalen. I just don't like sometimes the way he plays on a few Sundays. That's all.
I get it. It's not.
And then I'm not hype about the win over the Jets. It was the Jets. So there's nothing really to be hype over. It was the Jets. We beat the Jets. We were supposed to beat the Jets.
But fellas, he's still young, man. You got to give him some time to grow and mature. I think he'll be an effective quarterback given enough time.
Yeah, so obviously we had it was fun all around. It was a solid game. But you know what? Let me start with you, Bishop, since we are talking about your Philadelphia Eagles. 38-18, handle their business, stop the Jets, to move to 6-7 and still keep some type of wild card season alive. Gardner Minshew, 20 for 25. I like it. 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interception. Dallas Goedert had a day, boy. Let me tell you. 6 receptions, 105 yards with 2 TDs. He was feasting like no other.
You would have thought that was Grunk's little brother. You would have thought that was Grunk Jr.
I'm saying, I will say this. I do think it's a little funny how bad Jalen Reagor struggled last week. And he only had 1 rush opportunity, which went nowhere. And then he had 1 target for 7 yards. I just want to throw that out there. Bishop, are you how ecstatic are you that I'm not even talking about the Jets, right? But do you think that you guys have oh my God, words are hard, a legitimate chance to run the table?
You know what? I do, because I do know we have to play the Giants again. I do know we have to play the Cowboys again. So I do feel like we have an opportunity to run the table. I still don't like I still don't care too much for the play calling of the coaching, but the real thing is I will say we're getting better, and the thing for me is I guess it's the fact that we're getting better, but we got better with the backup quarterback, and then again it is the Jets. So we will just have to see. Like I said, I'm not gonna ride high off this win against the Jets because again it is the Jets. However, I do feel like we are headed in the right direction, and I feel like we definitely can make a run at the end of it. And we all know the NFC East, that joker is up in the air. It's up in the air. It's in Sunday on who's gonna be leading the NFC East. So I hopefully we can keep this going. I don't know if Minshew did enough for the coach to be like, oh, let's try starting him again over Jalen Hurts, even if Jalen Hurts is better. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let's hope that's not the case. But again, when you play some teams like the Jets, your quarterback looks like the GOAT when you play the Jets.
Yeah, they did say that they do not plan on having Gardner Minshew be the starter once Jalen Hurts is healthy. However, with this win and how he performed and how Gardner Minshew performed, they are willing now to, instead of force Jalen Hurts back, to kind of have him take his time. So don't be surprised if he's out a week longer, just for them solely to play it safe.
To get Jalen Hurts, get basically to do what they did to Kyler Murray, give him a chance to
exactly.
Right.
They want to give him.
And we got Washington next week. Not saying Washington is a slouch, but we do have Washington next week. So yeah, I can see that. I feel where you're coming from, Pride, on that. That makes sense.
So yeah, when it comes to that, it's gonna be interesting to see just how they if they really do it, because a lot of times they say the next thing you know, next week Jalen Hurts gonna have broken ribs, a fractured lung, broken neck, and a torn and a destroyed orbital, and he's gonna be out there suiting up. So only God really knows whether or not this kid is really gonna ball out. Coach, the Detroit Lions did it, baby. They did it, baby.
Hey,
listen, 29-27. I was screaming that they were gonna win.
We knew it was coming.
Yes,
we knew it was coming. We just didn't know against who. We didn't know against who.
And guess what? Jared Goff, 290 and 296 with 3 tutties. 296 with 3 tutties. That's my guy right there. That's my quarterback.
That's my
Jamal Williams, 17 carries for 71 yards. I mean, top to bottom, I want to say they played great. I watched this game. I think the Lions have a legitimate problem. And I don't think it's the roster. I don't think it's the coaching. I just think it's the fact they're in Detroit. They were so accustomed to losing that they tried to lose yesterday. Like, you give the Vikings literally every single opportunity to come back. They obviously kept fumbling the bag. Let me ask you something, Coach. The Vikings fall to 5-7. They are the first team to lose to Detroit. And which is the bigger deal? The fact that Detroit won or the fact that Minnesota lost?
You're gonna want to that's a great question. I'm not taking nothing away from Minnesota. And by the way, y'all, I am an Eagles fan too, so don't forget, Coach. I am an Eagles fan, but I'm a diehard Houston fan. But I am an Eagles fan. Y'all see me rocking the green today with the Coach Dante shirt on. So, but anyway, I'm not disregarding the Lions loss. I mean, win. They've been playing hard all year. We just didn't know who they were going to beat. But the Vikings lost, and they're frauds. They're a fraud team. They got all the talent in the world, and the defense let 4 seconds on the clock. You let someone stop in front of you in the end zone, and then the man catches the ball in the end zone. So this is more loss for the Vikings because you are fighting in the thick of a playoff race. You're trying to make a wild card spot. You've been playing good ever since Ever since pretty much week 2, you should have won that game. You lost by a field goal on that game on a missed field goal. You lost to the 49ers, which is a pretty good, tough team. That is a good loss for them. But then again, you take another step back of losing to the Detroit Lions. And you can go as far to say that Mike Zimmer time needs to be up in Minnesota. Got too much talent. You got Justin Jefferson is a dog. Dalvin Cook is a dog when he's on the field. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. He's not a superstar quarterback, but he's a pretty good He's a good quarterback. But
he is.
like this defense declined how it is. Xavier Rhodes declined. They got talent across the board, but the fact is the Vikings lost is the bigger picture. And they're a fraudulent team. They're just a fraudulent team, and I don't see the Vikings recovering and making the playoffs after this. This is a tough pill to swallow, but I like to shout out to Dan Campbell, Coach Dan Campbell. He deserved that win. His team has been playing hard for the whole season, and the upper management need to do better of getting guys coming in Detroit. They just need to get better. The upper management just need to get better. But the matter of fact, this is more Minnesota than the Lions, because you're in the thick of a playoff spot, and to be the only team that lose to the Lions is very embarrassing and it's frustrating.
Yeah, a lot of people are blaming Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins this season so far, over 3,000 yards, 68% completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. And what's going on with them? It's simple. It's the leadership. That's really all it comes down to. When your coach, Mike Zimmer, just honestly, and I'll be honest with you, I'm in the minority when I don't think Mike Zimmer's a bad coach. I just think he needs a new change. I think he needs a new team. He needs to go somewhere else.
I agree with you on that. I don't think he's a bad coach at all. I think he's a good coach. Yeah. I just think his time is up in Minnesota. That's
exactly. And that's how I genuinely feel for it, bro. Like, and again, he's not. Again, I genuinely don't think he's bad. It's just him in Minnesota is just not working anymore. It's kind of like the same way with Pete Carroll, right? Like, they're struggling. Pete Carroll's not a bad coach, but it might just be time for them to go their separate ways because, it's again, maybe it's just me, maybe, but I just don't think Mike Zimmer needs to be there anymore. He's going to need a new change, a new scenery. Michael, the Chargers and Bengals played 41-22 in a game that a lot of people thought was going to be way closer. The Bengals kind of shot themselves in the foot. Joe Burrow, I believe he was on his throwing hand. It was his pinky. By the way, I'm not believing this at all. If Tommy Fury legitimately pulled out, and if it's not because of an injury, he needs to retire. And I mean this 110% disrespectfully. And Tyron Woodley, when I found out that the contract that he signed actually had a clause that he couldn't knock him out, to me, Tyron Woodley became a sellout. That's how I look at it, because you're not going to sit here and talk all this shit about Jake Paul and say, oh, yeah, I'm going to knock him out, knowing damn well you can't. It's in the contract. So at this point, I'd rather have Tyron Woodley step into the octagon with Cyril Gahn, Francis Ngannou, and I just want them to put pause on him. By the way, the two guys are named. They are heavyweights, so they would 110% kill a washed-up Tyron Woodley. Here's a good question, and Michael, you can answer this if you like. Do you think the Chargers are an up and down team, or are they just frauds?
You know something? They're just like a lot of teams in the NFL. They're up and down, and you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, they played very well. Yes, as a matter of fact, I had the Bengals on my football card, which I lost, by the way, so I'm not too happy about that. But anyway, I think that the Chargers, they got the weapons, they got everything that they need to continue to win. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, they're up and down. I mean, right now they're 7-5. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Again, whether or not they get it together, and honestly, I just think it's just the fact that since they're very young, especially their quarterback, Justin Herbert, I just think it's kind of he's young. Joe Burrow, 24 for 40, 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So he himself did not have the best game. For Joe Burrow, Michael, do you consider this kind of just like a bad game, or do you think the Bengals should be worried with him?
Oh, I definitely think that they, I was watching some of the early morning shows, and they said Burrow outplayed the opposing quarterback, and he had a great game. I don't know, but we got to check out because he's still hurting with his finger, so we got to find out what's going on with that. But I think he has a lot of talent, and got to wish the best for him.
Yeah. So in terms of Burrow, he went 24 for 40. Justin Herbert went 26 for 35. So Justin Herbert was more efficient. Justin Herbert had more yards, more touchdowns, and less interceptions. Mike Hughes said, "My girl tripping on BMI for a minute. Love y'all. Alexa, play Rod Wave." Mike, you are a whole clown. I simply just cannot stand you. So are y'all ready to talk about Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, let's do that.
This was by far the funniest game I think I've seen. I think it was funnier than the Lions game. I genuinely believe so. By the way, because people are upset that Coach Harbaugh went for 2. Honestly,
no, that was a smart move.
Thank you, and I 100% believe it. I do not think that was a bad move.
Nope,
I genuinely don't. I don't think that was a bad move. I think it was a bad throw.
I don't think
Everything.
I think it was a bad throw. I think it was a bad throw because I just feel like
this is here. Hold on. We're making a mistake because Mark Andrews had made some unbelievable throws or unbelievable catches, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is that something he can do consistently? No, because unless your name is Jerry Rice or T.O. or Randy Moss, the top 3 wide receivers all time, unless you got those type of hands, you know what I mean? Like
Mark Andrews has those hands though. He
not like that. Not to the point where you can overthrow him and be comfortable enough that he's going to bring it down every single time. That's just me.
Feel like I feel like he does. I feel like he has the hands to be able to say.
Okay, all right. So you're one of the people who are defending Lamar Jackson's shit throw and saying, "Oh, it was Mark Andrews." I'm
not. I'll put it like this, right? I'll put it like this, and I'm gonna ask coach, and the coach is right there. Coach is a coach, of course. Most people will tell you if you can get your hands on the ball, you can make a catch. People have made spectacular catches on way harder catches than that, on way harder throws than that. So I feel like way worse throws than that, since you're calling it a bad throw. Way worse throws than that. Matter of fact, Kyler Murray just threw one identical
to James Conner. That was a bad throw.
He caught it. He caught it though.
But Bishop, that doesn't mean it's a good throw. It still was a bad throw.
Now listen, what I will say is I'm not saying it was a perfect throw. I'm not saying that. Keep in mind, he was throwing with someone in his face when he threw it.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that.
Someone was in his face.
Throwing in his face. Hold on. Throwing in his face. I've seen quarterbacks, Deshaun Watson, and this is the guy you guys want to put. You want to put Lamar Jackson on this pedestal. I've seen guys. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to throw out Deshaun Watson because he's not playing. Patrick Mahomes. I've seen Justin Herbert do it. Joe Burrow has done it. Josh Allen has done it. Aaron Rodgers. So my thing is, why is it that Lamar Jackson does a bad throw? And I understand, Bishop, I just want to throw one thing out there. A catchable ball does not necessarily mean it's a good ball. Those two things do not exist. Because Tim Tebow threw a lot of catchable balls. You telling me they were good throws?
Not necessarily. I didn't say catchable. I didn't say that. I didn't say that though. What I said was, if your hands are allowed to be on the ball, the majority of the ball, that is a catchable ball. That is a catchable. If you're able to allow your hands, if your full hand can get on that ball, that's a catchable ball.
And you ready to hear the funny part, Coach? I'm going to show it to you. You ready to hear the funny part, Coach? If Baker Mayfield did that throw, he's inaccurate. He can't throw the ball properly.
That's not true.
And they're slandering him.
That's not true.
Yes, it is because I've seen him do. Yes, it is.
Hold on.
I've seen him do
You can't put me in that.
Hold on.
You can't
I've
put me
seen
in that
him
category.
do it with Odell.
You cannot put me in the
Odell.
category with them. I'm saying you can't put me in the category with everybody else. I'm saying I'm not going to ridicule him and make him say that was a bad throw. If it was Baker Mayfield, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to say is, hey, if whoever it was did the exact same thing as Andrews, I'm gonna say it was a catchable ball. Because a lot of the because mind you, Andrews is a 6'5" tight end
and still overthrew him.
Tight end with huge hands,
and he still overthrew him.
Huge hands.
Imagine that big of a target, and you still overthrew him. That now, big of a target, and you still overthrew him. Bishop,
all right, man, check this out.
You can't sit there and tell me he did it, Bishop, because the dude was stretching like it was yoga, man.
Bro, I'm again, when it's all said and done, Pride, keep in mind there's somebody in his face. You're not going to sit here and tell me Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown a bad ball or a bad ball.
Okay, you hold up. But you see what you just said? A bad ball.
My bad. I didn't mean bad ball. I mean, my bad, not a bad ball.
Regardless, it was a bad throw. I don't care what anyone says. It was a bad throw. That's just me.
It was a pick and pop play, guys.
I'm not going back.
Where was it?
Same dude gave up on Jalen Hurts because he won the wrong piece of a game. So I'm not even going to worry about you no more, Bishop. I'm not. Just free my guy Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts demanded trade.
I got you, Bishop. I got you.
Because Bishop, you ridiculous.
Ain't nobody worried about Pride. Ain't nobody looking for no trade for Jalen Hurts or nothing like that. We good. We straight. Coach, was it a bad throw? Coach, was it a bad throw?
Let me look. All I'm saying, it was a bad throw. That's all I'm saying. And Bishop, if you want to disagree, that's fine. That's fine.
Was it a bad throw, Coach?
It's okay to be wrong. But
I mean, I will do a combination of both.
I'll accept that. Combination
of both bad throw.
I'll accept that.
And if a receiver gets his hands on the ball, you got to catch it. That's just a motto.
And I'll accept that.
But like I said, I just do combination of both, really. Like the Giants game, the Dolphins game, Giants and Dolphins, that was clearly a bad throw on Mike Lennon. He Evan Ingram actually had to turn around, and he was wide ass open, and he threw it behind the wide marking Ingram. He got his hands on it, but still he had to turn all the way around just to try to catch it. But again, we need to stop putting Lamar Jackson in Deshaun Watson category. It's not even close. Watson is clearly the better quarterback. That's not even close. Lamar just athletic, and everybody knows Lamar has accuracy issues. He has not been playing great. They should have lost twice. Lamar should have lost twice. And again, if you have faith, that shows how much faith John Harbaugh has in his team going for the 2-point conversion. I'm not mad at that 2-point conversion at all. If you want to escape Pittsburgh with a win, you just do it. If you feel like you can get it, you see something that you can exploit, you just do it. But it's a combination of both. A bad throw and Mark Andrews, you 6'5", you're the best receiver, you're the best tight end in the game, one of the best tight ends in the game. You're a top 4 tight end. You have to try to bring that down. But it was a bad combination of both, basically. Bad
it was
throw.
A good play call. It was a good play call.
It was 100%, and that's what blows my mind, right? People are like mad at him for it, and I'm like, hold on.
Well, we know how that goes. That's always Pride. If he'd have made it, they'd have been like, "Oh, best call ever."
Exactly.
Right.
So the mistake people are making is you're looking at the outcome. You can't look at the outcome and have that determine whether or not it's a good choice. You can't do that because by your logic, if let's say like I have the opportunity, right? There are 10 people on platforms, right? Mm-hmm. I push a button and I can choose which platform falls, right? On on one platform there's 6 people, on the other there's 4, right? Mm-hmm. If I say, oh yeah, I say the 6 people, you can say, oh yeah, well you killed, you still killed the other 4. You can't look at the outcome and then determine whether or not it's a good choice. You got to put context in it. And at the time, and even when I was watching the game, even Tony Romo said it. Hey, yo, I love this. He even said it before that. Before he even said it, he was like, yo, I hope and pray they go for 2 to end this shit right now. Because why not?
That's the same thing I said. When I seen that they scored, I was like, go for 2.
That was my thing. I'm like, if you're smart, Pittsburgh is expecting you to go for one.
Right.
This is the best chance for you to go out there and go for two.
Right.
And then you saw Mike Tomlin low-key fumbling. He was like, oh, whoa. And then he started panicking for that timeout. So I'm like, look, you already got him nervous.
Right.
To me, I don't know. The way I looked at it, I don't think it was a bad call. I think he went out there. He did what he had to do. Again, it was the right play because if regardless if you want to say Lamar overthrew the ball, or if you want to say that Andrew should have come down with it. Regardless, if he catches that ball, he's in that end zone easy.
He's not walking in. He's walking.
He's not being touched. Like nobody is near him. I'm talking about he could literally score, and then it was wild, bro. So to the people who are mad at that and saying, "Oh my God, you messed up," no, you're just an idiot.
It's just
of course, I mean that 110% disrespectfully, because ain't no way you're gonna sit here and pretend like, oh my God, no. He made the right choice.
He did.
It didn't pan out. It is what it is.
That's it. Like I said, when it's all said and done, if it would have scored off of it and got the 2 point, the best decision in the world.
Exactly. So they be poop. They be laughing. They be getting like, oh my God, you see, this is
we having a whole different conversation.
Different conversation. I guarantee that right there. They'd be like, oh yeah, he's coach of the year.
And one thing what people fail to realize, Pride, Bishop, and Mike, again, you go take it back to the Chiefs game when Harvell said you want to go for it. Lamar Jackson said, they got it. That was a great call. They didn't want to get a ball back to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's called trusting your quarterback and trusting your offense that they can get the job done.
Make it happen.
In this scenario, it didn't work out. It was just a bad play by both. I mean, just a bad throw in the back and should have been caught. But other than that, hey, if they, like everybody said, like I just said, and hey, if they would have got it, if that would have been a perfect throw and a catch, walked in, it would have been the greatest play. And it would have been like the Ravens made a great call again. So you can make a great call. Doesn't mean everything's going to work out. Everything's not going to work out all the time. So, great call and everything. I mean, so just some scenarios, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You get judged by the outcome. Unfortunately, it was the right play. It was the right move to make. It didn't work. Hey, they're still 8-4. They're still vying for good spot in playoffs. Hey, you got to take that chance. Like you said, coach had complete confidence in them, and they had the opportunity. People were saying good throw, bad throw. To me, I think he had a lot of pressure, and he rushed it, and he wanted to get the ball out of his hands real quick. And unfortunately, he overthrew Andrews, and that's how it goes.
My personal opinion, I feel like if I'm Harbaugh and I got someone like Coach said, an athlete, I'm gonna pull him out on the edges. I'm gonna scamper Lamar Jackson out on the edges. That's gonna force them DBs to come up because what they don't want to allow is Lamar Jackson to walk in the end zone. So getting outside the tackles. Him getting outside the tackles, I felt like it would have been more of a successful. I get they had somebody in his face, but if it's Lamar Jackson, we do know he has the ability to be elusive. I personally feel like if they would have got him out on the outskirts of on the outskirts of the tackles and be able to force the safeties and the corners to make a decision between him and covering the man, I think would have been way more successful. But again, hindsight is 2020. We all know. What we would have done if it was us, so forth and so on. But
right. So I mean, again, it all really comes down. Like I said, I believe it was a good play call. Like I said,
absolutely.
They were off by an inch. That's all it really comes down to. They were off by an inch.
Hey, Pride, and we know what it feels, or we see what it is when you off by an inch in football. Just ask Oklahoma State.
Talk to them. But it is crazy because with the loss, the Ravens fall to the 3rd seed in the AFC.
That was a huge loss for them. Yeah, that was a huge loss.
The greatest organization to ever grace God's green earth, led by Bill Belichick and the former home of the greatest quarterback to ever step on a field, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. Now, he has a father. We're not talking about old Tom. We're talking about young Tom, GOAT Tom Jr., right? The New England Patriots. We are number one. Thank you. Hold the applause. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
man.
want to say one thing.
Pride.
Bishop, look here, bro. Look here. With every passing moment, New England versus the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl.
We talked about this the other day.
Yeah. The storyline for that, bro.
We talked about this the other day.
It's not even the fact that I'm a Patriots fan. It's like, people are going to think I'm biased, but Belichick versus Brady. We got it in the regular season.
Titans.
Right. It's like we already got it in the regular season. Now what's next? What's next? The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If we can somehow get there, and Tom Brady does.
That'll probably be the most watched Super Bowl ever.
Because of the storyline. Literally because of that story. And I genuinely believe, I'm telling you right now, I genuinely believe, and that's fine. You don't got to applaud the Patriots. You want to know why? Because I do it. I'm going to do it. I got enough applauding in here for an army. We got it, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hold on. Real quick, babe. Can you clap real quick?
Really?
Hurry up. Just clap.
Really?
We good.
Hey, fellas, you know something, though? I live 30 minutes from Gillette Stadium, and I'm not a Patriots fan. How you think I'm feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm telling y'all, like, this, in terms of storyline, I think it would be great. I think so. I really do, because think about it, like
the storyline itself.
I know I'm dumb as shit, right? I know.
Huh? Did the Seahawks win?
Hold on, Seattle won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there were two games I was genuinely torn at, because I usually do like pick'ems, right? There was two games I was torn at. Seattle and the 49ers. I was stuck real bad, and the Chargers and the Bengals. So I went to my girl. I was like, "Babe," she's like, "What?"
Let's talk about that Chargers and Bengals game, bro. We were just talking about Herbert a couple of days ago too, Coach, and we were just talking about him.
Yep.
Against who? Against your boy out of Cincinnati. We was talking about
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. So with Joe Burrow, man, Herbert came in there and embarrassed the Bengals, bro.
He was mad.
Bro, he came in there and balled out against the Bengals, bro.
No, he was mad.
The game was closer at the end, but when it was all said and done, like Herbert came in there and balled.
Yeah,
Herbert came in there and balled.
And honestly, like, I that really didn't surprise me. I think Keenan Allen had like 2 touchdowns in the first half. I think it was.
Yes, Keenan Allen.
When I saw that,
boys.
Yeah, and that second, I think it was the second touchdown. Literally, the Bengals defense forgot Keenan Allen was playing.
Because he was wide open.
It wasn't even
why? Like, how do you not have your eyes on the best receiver on the field at this point? How do you lose him? How do you lose where he's at?
I don't know. And you ready to hear the funny part? So he had the 2 touchdowns, and he still wasn't even, in terms of stats, the best receiver.
It was Mike Williams.
Mike Williams had put up like 110 yards, right? Bro. Like every single time Joe Burrow, and he threw that 1 interception, which I was not a fan of. You know what I mean?
Which was, I mean,
that one you can tell that he was trying to force it. You can tell
he was.
So I do gotta knock him for that, but I will say,
but that's that's a second year rookie mistake. He's still learning.
But I will tell you this: the way he bounced back.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I love about Justin Herbert. When he throws a pick, he comes out and he lets it rock. He lets it go.
He don't let it stick.
He goes back. He looks at the tackle. He sees where he messed up, and then he goes, "Bet I'm not going to do that again."
Yep.
That's
he doesn't get trigger. He doesn't get trigger scared. He don't hold the ball longer because he's afraid to throw another one. No, he goes right back at it.
No, 110%. So, but the last game I want to talk about, because obviously the Cardinals stomped. I mean, look, I'll be honest. The Bears scored 22. Good for you. Kyler Murray was just pissed. I guess he was like, "Oh wait, y'all think I'm not the MVP?" He had a game.
Do you blame him? Do you blame him because of the fact that everybody was like, "Oh, they was good. They was good until because they didn't lose." No, I was about to say they didn't lose their first game. They lost their first game without him, but no, they.
If I'm not mistaken, I was about to say they lost their first game with him,
Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had, if I'm not mistaken, they're 10-2.
Right.
And they
Yes,
lost one
right.
game
Yep.
with Colt McCoy. Literally the week after I said they're gonna lose with Colt McCoy because he had one great game. Then they lost, and then I was like, I'll wait for my apology, my restitution. To this day, I'm still waiting. To this day. So, but the Chiefs they hosted the Broncos. They beat the Broncos 22-9.
Yeah.
Defensively, this team, listen, Sorensen, who was, people are saying he was dog shit, and we need to get him out of here, and all this stuff. Free Daniel Sorensen, by the way. He got a pick. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a pick 6.
Pick 6, 75 yards.
So again, free Daniel Sorensen. But Bishop, this Chiefs defense, is it legit, or do you think they still have a ways to go?
I still think they still got some room for improvement. I feel like again, they played Denver. Denver's defense and offense isn't where it should be. I feel like the way the Kansas City Chiefs played the Denver Broncos is a lot like how the Cowboys have been playing. I feel like that the Denver Broncos was a team that really wasn't going to showcase that they could really do anything against Kansas City, which, as we saw, that's exactly what happened. So I really don't feel like that Denver or that Kansas City Chief defense is where it needs to be Super Bowl contenders as of yet. We still got time, but they're moving and they're starting to trend in the right direction. I will say that. We'll see. Denver. Not Denver, but Kansas City has some more competitive foes coming up. So we'll see just how well that defense can stand up to something like that. But no, I don't feel like Denver was a team to prove that they're really on their way back. I just think that was just a small hurdle for Kansas City to step over and continue to do what they're doing.
Yo, Coach, I believe you're the one who said that Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL. He had a vicious stat line. Bro.
Yeah.
He was breaking records, bro. Look, 15 for 29, 184 yards, 0 touchdown and interception. Wow, this dude was balling. For a split second, I thought it was Lamar Jackson in a red uniform. Swear to God, I thought Lamar decided to pull double duty. Swear to God. But Patrick Mahomes in an interception-riddled season, dare I say. By the way, Fredward, welcome. I will have a question for you, my guy. Just be patient.
Just say Giants. That's all you have to say. Just say Giants. That's all you have to say.
Him and I'm gonna have fun with him with the Giants.
Yeah, just leave it at that. And we know we got Freddie to be quiet and
but
Coach, got the boss in
Patrick
there.
Mahomes, another interception. I mean, do you still think he's the best? I'm talking about just for this year specifically. Do you still think he's the best?
I'm gonna stand by my word. I still think just because a person or a superstar player struggles, that don't take nothing away from him. Everybody goes through adversity and struggles. That don't mean they're not potentially the best. It was Tom Brady struggles at one point, but I mean, he's a top 2 quarterback in the game. He's a great quarterback. He's the greatest of all time. So again, all the great struggle. There's no great that don't struggle, that don't have. I think teams are starting to figure out how the Chiefs' offense has run. But I think the Broncos' defense is legit. It's just their offense is just not as up to par with all the weapons. 22 points is not a lot of points. It's not even a lot of points. The problem for the Broncos last night, they couldn't capitalize on third downs, and Teddy Bridgewater had 2 interceptions. One was a pick 6. So I think this defense still has a long way to go. I still think they need some work, but I think this Kansas City Chiefs defense is getting better and better. It's just I think teams are starting to figure out the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs more than ever now. So that's why you're seeing a lot of turnovers from Patrick Mahomes. So again, I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best young quarterback in the game. And he's having a turnover-riddled season. Most of the interceptions comes out batted balls and drop passes that goes in the air. They're not legit thrown to thrown to the defenders all the time. So anytime it's a tilt pass or a receiver drops it and it pops up in the air, that's not the quarterback's fault. That's more on the receivers, and a great play by the defensive lineman. But again, man, like I say, Tom, I mean, everybody struggles. Every great gonna struggle. Every great is gonna struggle. That doesn't take away how good they are. But again, Tom Brady, the best in the game. He's the best of all time, greatest of all time. I thought Joe Montana was the greatest of all time, but now I've seen Tom Brady got 7 Super Bowls. I jumped Tom Brady over Joe Montana. He's the greatest.
Absolutely.
Of all time. Again,
hold on. Let me ask the coach. Let me ask you this though.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, you said Patrick Mahomes is the next or the next greatest quarterback or the best quarterback, second best or first best quarterback in the NFL, young quarterback right now.
Yeah.
Would you say that still if Deshaun Watson was playing?
No. No. I think he was close. I think it was him and Deshaun Watson. When Deshaun Watson was playing young quarterbacks, I think Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson. It was him and Deshaun Watson, but I think Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback. Patrick Mahomes probably has the better arm. Besides, Watson's arm is underrated. Deshaun Watson's arm is underrated. People don't give him credit for his arm,
right?
His making ability. Deshaun Watson got kicked in the eye by a Raiders defender and still threw a touchdown. Deshaun Watson is a big time winner. I mean, he comes from 16 points down in a playoff game against Josh Allen and outplayed Josh Allen. I mean, this guy got some big wins. He's a leader. This guy literally makes your team better. So I think Deshaun Watson is better skill-wise. Now, Patrick Mahomes might be the better thrower because Patrick Mahomes is a baseball player as well. But Deshaun Watson is better skill-wise. And, I mean, again, I think when those two was playing, those two was right there. But still, again, Deshaun Watson is better probably skill-wise. It's better. It's just the throwing arm. But Deshaun Watson throwing arm and strength is very underrated, man. This guy can make some hell of a throws. This guy makes some hell of a throws, and he's a hell of a playmaker.
Okay.
All right. Real quick, since Freddie, we got you here. I'm not even gonna talk about the fact that y'all lost to the Dolphins.
Can I rebuttal what Coach done?
You said what now?
Can I Coach John? Because if I was the moderator, I would have stopped with Dante like 2 seconds into his little speech he just gave.
Right, but you're not the moderator. I am, and I let you go. As I was saying, Fredward, let's stick with it. It's okay, mommy. I know.
Bishop, but did I ask politely? Can I rebuttal what he said?
Yeah. He asked, could he rebuttal a pride? Coach Dante.
Go ahead, rebuttal. Go ahead.
Coach Dante, matter of fact, I see some people in the comments tell me good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Coach Dante, you're a coach. I don't know what the hell did your eyes seeing. I don't know where the hell did you came up with all that speech. But Patrick Mahomes is not the best quarterback in the game today. Let's pump the brakes on that. Let's pump the brakes. Let's just a touch. I understand we want to give him that title because he is flashy, because he is, he's easy to like. He's fun to watch. I mean, he got a little swagger to him. I mean, we all up at Mahomes. I mean, shoot, this dude is the Mr. Ketchup, by the way. So let's call it what it is. But he ain't no bad man to Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
he ain't that.
There you go. I'm with you, Freddie.
You knew it was coming.
I mean, stop it. You talking about Aaron Rodgers who can make those same throws that Patrick Mahomes can, that make impossible throws. Aaron Rodgers is a guy that do not have a Tyreek Hill. He don't have a Kelsey. He don't have a Andy Reid on the offense as a head coaches, down there. So let's pump the brakes just a touch, Mr. Coach Dante, because let's not forget, early in the season, there was some folks on this show, on shows on ASAP, was saying the Chiefs was done. They said the Chiefs didn't have a chance. Hell, we even had Nate the Great come on the show talking about the Chiefs ain't even making the playoffs this year. So let's pump the brakes just a touch. I mean, we know Patrick Mahomes is that dude, but other than the game 1 of this season, we didn't even question about the Green Bay Packers not even going to the playoffs. I mean, so let's stop that, sir.
Before I ask you a question, Freddie, I will say this. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league this season. I'm one of the people who go into the season with not really a new list, but I'm willing to make a new list if something happens. And I've said it before, if Tom Brady was throwing interceptions at the rate Patrick Mahomes was, we'd be slaughtering him. If it was Aaron Rodgers, oh, he doesn't care about football. If it was Baker Mayfield, we'd be saying that the kid is so horrible, he should have never been drafted. If it was anybody else, we'd be slaughtering them. So that's kind of where I kind of go and say, I don't think he's the best this year because a lot of his decision has been wild. You know, very questionable at best. Can you relax? Thank you, Jesus.
Man, she got a little pride on there. What's going on, little pride?
Yeah, right.
He's mad because every time, look, so he has his opinions, right? And every single time him and I disagree, he gets mad at me, and then he starts trying to break it. You hear him? He's mad. He's vexed right now, right? Like the last time he heard me have an opinion about a fight, and he actually fought me after the show. Like I said my point, I said how I felt, and the kid slapped me and bit me.
It's all good, nephew. Hey, just tell daddy you moving up in this business as well.
Yeah,
Bro,
I got it.
One of these days, you're just gonna see the camera mad low, and you're just gonna see this kid sitting here, and he's gonna go, and then he gonna run the show, and then I'm gonna be gone. God knows where I'm gonna be at. But Freddie, let me ask you this question. Like I said, I'm not even gonna mention the fact that you guys lost to the Dolphins. Daniel Jones is out, and so is Mike Glennon, even though he's questionable with the concussion, which brought up a very great question, and I was hoping you would come on so we could talk about it. Do you think the Giants should look for a QB in the practice squad now that Daniel Jones and Mike Glennon are hurt? And before I let you go, Freddie, in terms of their depth chart and their active, the only active quarterback is Jake Fromm.
Alabama. From Alabama.
Who's yours, Fredward?
Oh, not from Alabama, from Georgia. From Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia.
I do expect Daniel Jones to be ready for this upcoming week. I mean, hell, it don't matter who the hell we play at quarterback at this point. I mean, we're not making no damn playoffs, so it don't matter. Shoot, you can stick my man, the con man, back there, and he can look better than the quarterback put back there right now. So
I'll be doing better than him. I'll tell you that real quick.
So it don't matter who you stick back there, honestly, Pride. I mean, the Giants are not relevant. They're irrelevant right now. So it don't matter. We're not making no playoffs. Hell, do what the Denver Broncos did last year. Go hire a UPS man to play quarterback. It don't matter. I promise you, it don't matter.
Yeah. I feel bad because someone else actually said it too. And all their skill position players are either out or injured. Sterling Shepard out, Kadarius Toney out. By the way, Kadarius Toney, when they picked him up, I actually did like that pickup when they drafted him. Kenny Golladay, questionable. And now supposedly, Fred Ward, let me ask you this question. They are contemplating their future with Saquon Barkley.
I was just going to mention that.
Because of the sole reason that they're looking at him, the organization is looking at him in the same light as Christian McCaffrey, a phenomenal talent that just cannot stay healthy. So, Freddie, if you're running the Giants, what are you doing? What are you doing with Saquon?
The only way I move Saquon Barkley is if we move in hell, heaven and hell to get him. I said this a few weeks ago on Real Talk. The only way I'm trading him is if Russell Wilson said, "Hey, I want to be the quarterback for the Giants." We'll give you Saquon. We'll give you Daniel Jones. We don't mind but in order for us to move Saquon, I believe Dave Gettleman has to go. Because with Dave Gettleman, we're not going to get what's best for the team. We're not going to get the best offer. We've seen what Odell Beckham Jr. trade. We lost. So by you get us a GM that can run the business, that can run, do their job, I believe they have to get a whole nother general manager down in New York so it can show Russell Wilson, okay, these dudes are trustworthy. These dudes are, they are win mode now. They're willing to do whatever to win. So, no, Joe Judge does not need to go because last year we seen a Joe Judge coach a team and help improve a team. So 1 year don't make you, Nate. That's not how the NFL works. 1 year does not break you. So last year we did see improvement. They did dip down this year, but there's reports that he didn't even want Jason Garrett on his coaching staff. And I'm gonna give Dave Gettleman a little bit of relief.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe I believe the Mara family have something to do with these moves being made as well. The Mara family need to say, okay, we need to get somebody here that knows how to run the football operation. They know how to make moves. They know what they're doing. So then you can let them do what they're doing. Let them do what they do. I believe the Mara family has stepped in a little bit too much and kind of, hurt some things, messing things up. But they step away, get somebody that knows what they're doing. So,
yeah. I will say this in terms of if the Giants are going to keep Saquon, I genuinely believe they should take the route of running back by committee, because you're gonna have to start limiting the touches on Saquon. And I said the same thing about Christian McCaffrey. They are phenomenal talents, but you're gonna have to start minimizing how much they really do, because if every single time they go out there they get tackled and people are holding their breath to see whether or not they get up, it's not very fun. Before we move on, the Carolina Panthers fired offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Team is 5-7. I don't know why they thought Joe Brady was at fault. I'll be honest. Senior offensive assistant Jeff Nixon, he's going to be taking over the offensive coordinator duties for the rest of the season. Matt Rule says, quote, "I'm very grateful for his time and effort in helping us get established over this past year and a half." I love it when they say that, by the way. A year and a half. What are you going to do? Like, what, retire his headset or something? Like, it's only been a year and a half. Why y'all fired him? I have no idea whatsoever, because it's, like, I'm not sure what they expected. In terms of they're ranked 28th in the NFL with a little over 308 yards per game. And they are ranked 23rd in scoring at just under 27 points per game. So, Coach, let me start with you. They fired Joe Brady. Do you think this is going to matter?
No, it's not. I don't think it's going to matter at all. I mean, I say the offense wasn't doing their part of the job. So, again, it all starts off with a questionable quarterback situation. I thought they should have stayed with P.J. Walker. Cam Newton has been benched again after that 5 for 21 horrendous performance against Miami. Mm-hmm. I thought they should have just stuck with P.J. Walker. And then just brought Cam Newton in when you need a first down or some red zone plays when you need a touchdown or something. I thought that would have been better as well. Again, Sam Darnold, I think he's going to be the odd man out. 7 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Can't explain that season. Can't explain that. So you want to say receivers were dropping passes. You have 11 interceptions. So is that really receivers dropping passes or the decision making of Sam Darnold? I would guess that really probably was a decision making. You have a decent defense. They're not bad. They can make plays, but then your offense can't get up on the board. Your offense can't do anything. So, again, I don't think this will help. I think the Carolina Panthers are done out. I don't think they're making the playoffs. But the quarterback situation is going to be the interesting topic of the offseason. Which quarterback will they buy into? Sam Darnold? Is Sam Darnold going to be there next year? And will PJ Walker get his time, or will Cam Newton? I think will Cam Newton be the odd man out? So that job is that situation will be very interesting.
Freddie, so obviously, they're like, this Panthers team has been struggling. Started off hot 3-0, now they're 5-7. Matt Rule, let's go as offensive coordinator. Which then brings up a very interesting question. Do you think the Panthers are going to considering firing Matt Rule?
No, like I said, they just hired him not too long ago. like I said about the Giants, you can't just fire somebody after 1 year, and just say, hey, this week, where you're, we put you in there. Oh, the season didn't go as expected because we have to remember, they had still question mark at the quarterback position. Christian McCaffrey can't stay healthy. I mean, so there's not too much this dude can really do. I mean, you trade for Sam Darnold, who didn't really pan out to the guy that you thought, would have been, and we all said that was a risky move when they took the trade because we didn't really see much out of him when he was with the Jets. And then you go out and get a Cam Newton who has not played football in how long, and we all know since Carolina the first time. Gargamel, that's what I do. But like I said, since he left Carolina the first time, we all knew that Cam was pretty much, who he was, because he took too many injuries on the arm. He was getting banged up, too much. So we all knew Cam was who he is. So they really need to clear up that QB position, and they need to clear up the situation with Christian McCaffrey. So you can't really judge Matt Rule. And I could not have said it any better. That's what I do. About damn time I get some appreciation right here, Con man.
Freddie, you were on a roll to the end right there. I will tell you that. You were on a roll. So this does bring up the interesting quarterback situation they have because they have Sam Darnold, they have Cam Newton, they have PJ Walker. I genuinely believe that all three guys right now are bridge guys. I don't think the Panthers are interested in keeping any one of those guys long term. I genuinely believe that, they're really just saying, look, we just need a quarterback for next year. Whatever happens, and we'll probably next year go to the draft because I've been saying this year in terms of quarterbacks is not the draft to get it. Maybe next year, who knows? But Michael, let me ask you a question. No, thank you, young lady. Yep, I know.
Hey, before you ask the question,
let me ask you a question, Michael.
All right, before you ask the question, what happened was the Nixon.
Which quarterback would you go with for next year? PJ Walker, Cam Newton, or Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold, without question. I think he has the more experience in that system. Plus, hopefully, they get all their players back. McCaffrey comes back, and they just recently hired a offensive coordinator, Jeff Nixon. And hopefully he can bring some offense to that team. And they need to improve on all ends of the defensive side. So, I would definitely go with Donald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in terms of, do you think the Panthers are going to draft a QB or are they going to draft defensive players? I would draft defensive, even a little bit more simple. And I don't even think this one isn't even that hard. This one really isn't that hard because these defense in terms of the offensive line, and you can even make the argument defensive line. This is a draft that literally has everything except for quarterbacks. This is really the only thing that this draft is really missing. And I've said this. I think the only people who should even consider drafting a quarterback are the teams that already have a quarterback that's already set and in play, and you can wait and you can give a guy 4 or 5, have a guy sit his entire rookie contract to have him learn. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Bishop, I'm glad you can come back to us because I almost put an APB out on you, bro. You just told me just my bad. I'm being a cornball. So we're talking about how Joe Brady got fired. Let me ask you a question, Bishop, because this is a question that I have not seen anybody ask, and I'll be honest, I haven't heard nothing about Joe Brady being on any hot seat or anything like that. So let me ask you this question. And obviously, Bishop, I want you to be honest. 5 for 21, 23%, 97 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That was what Super Cam, who was screaming, "I'm back," did his last outing. Bishop, do you believe Cam Newton, low-key, got the man who's named after the greatest quarterback to ever grace God's green earth, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.? Do you believe Cam Newton, low-key, got Joe Brady fired?
Hey, it could be a possibility. Cam Cam prematurely came out there thinking he was back, and he clearly showed that he was not. You know, he did what he did for that first, game to get them that win or whatever. But we saw the Cam, in which why a lot of teams didn't pick Cam up in the first place for that next game when he was 5 for 23, 5 for 21, whatever it was, and them 2 interceptions
That's
he
threw.
threw.
Numbers, bro.
Like that's just Cam, and we all spoke about it when Cam came back to Carolina. That we spoke in regards to saying that this was going to be his resume. And it looks as though his resume is straight do. He is actually, I don't think he's going to get picked up no more. I think he's going to be out after this season. And this will probably be the last we see of Cam Newton after this season.
And Gritty, and you asked what kind of theory is that? I don't think it was a theory. It's just I did not think Joe Brady was going to be fired. I didn't think he was going to, because I saw this in terms of when your best player is just always injured, that being in Christian McCaffrey, it's going to be difficult when your entire offense is built around him. It's not like they have a wide receiver that they also build around. It's Christian McCaffrey or bust. That's kind of why, to a kind of almost same degree, that's why Tennessee is kind of a little bit successful now. They lost Derek Carr, but you still have A.J. Brown, which, he didn't play. I mean, God bless him. But, you still have other weapons. When it comes to Carolina, you don't have – it's Christian McCaffrey, and then outside of what? No disrespect, Robbie Anderson. Are we really going to sit here and say we're comfortable in having him as your best receiver? Not to say I'm not trying to say he's dog water, but at the same time, your best receiver, I don't know. But that's just the way I was looking at it. I just don't know why all of a sudden they just fired him.
Oh,
it just came out of the blue too. It really just came out of the blue. Like they were just like, oh yeah, Matt Rule woke up and was like, you know what, Joe? I hate your last name because we don't have Tom Brady. You're fired. That's almost really what it seemed like. But let's move on to college football, who the final rankings dropped, and boy, oh boy, it was hilarious. You have Alabama at 1, Michigan at 2, at 3, Georgia, and at 4, Cincinnati. First and foremost, free Cincy. How I and Gritty and Yuki now lovingly refer to as the Chick-fil-A Bearcats. One day we literally, it's funny, Gritty and Yuki really dropped in the chat and was like, yo, their logo low-key looks like the Chick-fil-A logo. I zoomed in. They were right. So Cincinnati is now my team. They can go over, but I'm going to be pounding my chest for them just because of the fact that their logo looks like that. It's going to be number 1 Alabama versus number 4 Cincinnati, number 2 Michigan versus number 3 Georgia. Before I even go in with anything, Bishop, your head look like it's about to pop off because you shaking your head down there like you're shaking your head like my father shook his head when he saw me born. It's nothing but straight disappointment. So Bishop, hold on. Before, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the man who is always level-headed until we talk about college football. It is that boy Trey. How you feeling, my guy?
What's good? What's going on? Listen, how y'all doing, fam? What's going on? ASAP in the morning. What's good with y'all?
Yes, sir. Glad you can make it. I'm gonna swing it to you in a minute here, Trey. But before Bishop, it's nothing but disapproval. Vet your heart out, my guy.
All right, man. As y'all know, I'm very sensitive about it. When it comes to this college football thing. And again, I'm sure Coach will agree with me on this. They got it wrong. The committee has got it wrong once again. Now, I will say this: I watched the Alabama and Georgia game. I am going to be the first to say I am completely shocked in the performance of Georgia. Their defense did not show up for that game whatsoever. But I have always said, I was telling one of my frat brothers who's a huge Georgia Bulldog fan. We spoke a couple of weeks ago. I told him then, bro, when it comes to Nick Saban and them Georgia Bulldogs, he has their number. He has them dialed up. When it comes to Georgia, Nick Saban finds a way to win. And this past Saturday, he did that. These boys were hitting on all cylinders. They literally came in that game and punched Georgia dead in their mouth. Dead in their mouth and knocked about 4 of their front teeth out. Easy. Now, what I say my top 4 would be Cincinnati,
yes,
Alabama, Georgia, then Michigan. That's how the top 4 should be. Now, if all of you on the panel, all these people, all the sports analysts and critics and all of that, if y'all can't see what they're doing, bro, you're blind to the fact.
Well, you're either blind or stupid. And I'll be honest with you,
or you just don't want.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, Bishop. Before I let you go, you need to understand something. A lot of people who watch college football, no disrespect whatsoever, but of course, nothing with disrespect. They're stupid, right? Like they don't understand that there's 2 aspects of the game, right? It's the actual playing, and this is where the committee looks funny because they base the list based on the almighty dollar.
Right.
And that's where people are high-key fumbling because that's what it is. But go ahead, Bishop. I apologize for
No. You're absolutely right. What they're doing,
I'm going to shut up.
No, you're absolutely right. What they're doing is doing exactly what you were saying. Oh, there go Jay. You're actually what you were saying in regards to what they want to see in the Super Bowl. A lot of people want to see the Patriots and the Bucks in the Super Bowl. Everybody wants to see a rematch between Alabama and Georgia in the national championship. That's why the committee, we not stupid. We know that's why y'all put them the way y'all put them, because there's no way Cincinnati shouldn't be number 1. There's no way. There's no way Cincinnati shouldn't be number 1.
Bishop, hold on. I got the answer for you. Strength of schedule.
I don't want to hear that. Because if you look at strength of schedule, how you put Notre Dame in there?
So is it
Notre Dame in the conversation? If we were looking at strength of schedule, there's no such thing. You can't put Notre Dame in there if we're talking about strength of schedule, because Notre Dame is independent and they pick their schedule and they pick a bunch of garbage teams to play.
See, that's been my thing. We're punishing other teams because they have easy schedule, and I'm like, they can't pick it. But Notre Dame, who can pick their stuff, is getting like, you know what? You gotta respect them.
What I hear y'all saying,
it's all because of their name too.
So what I hear y'all saying is that Cincinnati doesn't have a chance of beating Alabama, nor does Michigan have a chance of beating Georgia.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they don't have a chance, but just look how it fell. Alabama versus Cincinnati, Georgia versus Michigan. Like the winner of those 2 games play each other. Oh, what's the chance of Alabama and Georgia winning and playing for the national championship, which everybody wants to see anyway? It's money. It's about the money. Now, what I won't jump off, what I won't forget though, Prod, is USC lost to California.
Mm-hmm. You're so
Oregon
petty.
lost.
You're so petty.
Oregon lost. So this goes back again to what I was saying on Friday about that conference.
You know what? I was ready. I knew I wasn't going to be on for the first hour, but I just say, but I got time today for this hour, and I got time for what you were about to say. So I looked at the New Year's 6. And I looked at the New Year's 6, and I see in the New Year's 6, there's 1 Pac-12 team, there's 2 Big 12 teams, there's 3 SEC teams, there's 3 Big 10 teams, and then there's a 1 independent, and then wherever Cincinnati's from, it is 1 representative. So again, it comes back to what I was saying. There's only 1, maybe 2 dominant conferences in the NCAA football, and it's been consistent over the last 3, 4, 5 years, maybe. So yes, okay, USC, Utah's still there. They still the New Year's Six. They're not in. Matter of fact, there's not a single team from the Big 12 that's in the college playoff. So what are we talking about here?
Hold on, who's in the college playoff for the Pac-12?
Nobody. I think it's saying.
But here's the thing. Hold on. Let me jump in.
Let me say this real quick, Jay. Hold on, real quick. Let me say this. Do know this though, Trey. Know that Oklahoma is playing Oregon here in
Oklahoma State.
No, Oklahoma is playing Oregon.
Oklahoma. Okay, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're right.
In the Alamo Bowl on the 29th. Let's just see how that pans out for Oregon. Let's see.
No, we will see that. We will see that. And here's the thing about the Pac-12 that people don't understand when they start talking about us. You know, when you start the season, okay, we look at the SEC. What do we talk about? We talk about two teams:
Georgia, Tennessee,
Alabama, and Georgia.
Yeah, not Tennessee.
That's it. No, in Georgia, there's no one else. ACC. Who do you talk about in ACC?
Clemson.
All right. Now, when you go to the Pac-12, who do you talk about?
USC, Oregon, Utah, UCLA.
Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, Trey.
You can stop it.
Not Stanford.
No. Hold on. Let me say one thing.
Hold on. Wait.
I just want to say one thing. I don't want to say, Bishop, I understand because what Bishop is doing, he's having the when every time he's talking about the conferences, a lot of time he wants to talk about right now. And right now, Bishop, you have a point. However, historically, you can't. I'm just saying, put it in context.
Because his right. No. Let's put it in context. Let's put it in context. Let's put it in context. Don't change the words. Hold on. Don't change the words and think that you changed the subject. Okay? Because what you did was you put strength of schedule in your conversation without using the words strength of schedule. So now I'm trying to show you what the strength of schedule really is, because the Pac-12 is the most in what's the word I'm looking for? We destroy ourselves. The Pac-12 destroys our freaking selves. Stanford could come out and have 2 wins and take out the leader of the division, the leader of the conference. That's Stanford's memo. That's Stanford's that's what they're known for. Over the past few years, when they had Christian McCaffrey, they weren't out winning no national championship. They weren't at the top of our conference, but they would come in and take out whoever was at the top. You see what I'm saying? So again, when you picture the Pac-12, you got ASU. We were doing great. We lose to Utah. Then they're like, oh, man, look at this. You guys lost to Utah. Utah came out and smacked Oregon twice. And Oregon's a better team, undoubtedly. But Utah has their number. And that's what the Pac-12 is about. The Pac-12 is there's games that we're going to play head-to-head where teams are not supposed to beat other teams in the Pac-12, and it's going to happen every single year.
That's fair to say the same thing for us, for the Big 12, Jay.
No, I mean, the Big 12, though, is
not top to bottom, though.
Y'all ain't top to bottom heavy like that.
No, I'm not saying though. True or not, we're not. But I believe that we have more. We have more of. There's more of a problem in the Pac-12 amongst in between. Like we just said, you name a couple.
You said more than the Big 12.
Yes,
more than the Big 12.
No, so I disagree.
So y'all got Oklahoma State. Y'all got Oklahoma. Y'all got Baylor. I don't include Texas in that.
How do you not include Texas, bro?
You got to include
talking about right now, like you said, right now.
Trey, if we're going to include,
Texas.
No, hold on. If we're going to include the Stanfords and we're going to include the UCLAs, we have to include Texas.
Thank you.
Okay, but then Texas and then Iowa State. After that, I think
Kansas State.
Kansas State. You better not put Kansas State in there.
Are you freaking kidding me, Coach Dante? Will you please tell him?
No.
What?
Coach Dante, don't do it to me.
In the Big 12.
Kansas State is equivalent to Oregon State.
Hold on. Time out.
Oregon State, Kansas State.
Hold on, Jay, real quick. I've been listening to y'all. And I genuinely believe you guys are having
the same conversation.
Like, no, I haven't. Like, Bishop, right now, what is the point you're trying to make, Bishop? Because I'm genuinely convinced you guys are having 8 different conversations between the 3 of y'all, and I need a map because my GPS is like
what we're saying. Let's
Bishop,
define
what's the point you're trying to make?
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead and say your part.
Go ahead, Jay.
Let's define it. What we're saying is this: when you break down and you talk about the college football playoffs, and you break down what we're dealing with of the 1 through 25, we talk about these Alabamas and we talk about these Georgias, and then to Bishop's point, we go to look at the Big 12, we go look at the ACC, and SEC is given a nod right off the back because they don't have that middle and bottom half of their conference. It's not there. It's gone. It's gone. The competition in that is gone. So when we flip the side, and I think to me, the Pac-12 is the most competitive conference right now amongst each other. Okay. In conference play, we're the most competitive amongst each other. And at the end of the day, and I'll give you that, Bishop, looking at the Big 12, you do got your Oklahomas. You do got your Texases. You do have your Baylors. But you flip it to Pac-12, it don't matter what our recruiting stuff does. It doesn't matter because every single year we are on par with each other. The SEC, Alabama goes in and blows out their division. Their biggest foes typically are outside of it. So when depending on their schedule throughout the year. So when we look at this, Notre Dame shouldn't be in this. You're right.
At all. Agreed.
You're right. But the Pac-12, I also believe, should get some sort of a boost like the SEC does. You see, the Big 12, Ohio State gets in every single year. And to me, Ohio State don't have a stronger conference than us from top to bottom.
Then the Pac-12? You don't feel like Big 10 has? Okay, go ahead.
Not from top to bottom. Not from top to bottom.
Yeah, right. No, I'll get where you're going.
They're top heavy. They're top heavy.
Right.
Top heavy, they're there. But top to bottom, I think that we're more even. We're a more competitive conference. Interconference play, we're a more competitive conference than most of these conferences we speak about. And it kills us. It really does. It kills us.
And pride to piggyback off basically what Jay said, I feel like that about the Big 12. I know I hear Jay and I hear Trey saying that no, the Kansas City State K-State is not one. K-State has definitely been one of the teams who have been strong out in the Big 12. K-State, even TCU, like we have some teams over there in the Big 12 who I totally agree with Jay. Excuse me, in regards to we have inner teams within our conference who make us like we got beat by Baylor. We got beat by Baylor.
Baylor got beat by TCU. TCU.
Right. Got beat by TCU, but then Baylor beat Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State also beat us. But it's just, things like that. It happens with us as well. Texas, this year for Texas, it was just a bad year for Texas, to be honest with you.
It really was.
Texas they was just straight trash this year. They were.
It really was.
But Kansas State was 7-5 too. Kansas State was pretty strong too. They always pretty strong.
And they normally strong like that. Normally they stronger than that. The Kansas State, this ain't the normal Kansas State this season. This ain't. To be honest, Oklahoma State always there. Baylor pretty much always there. You know what I'm saying? Like the TCU's always there, stuff like that. But I that's the first time Jay has came on here and made sense of the Pac-12. I'll give him that. What he said.
I want to say one thing.
I give him.
Let me just sneak in here real quick before I ask a question. I just think it's funny, Bishop. You say Jay has made sense when he literally
say the same thing I've been saying the whole time.
Exact same thing.
Let me explain. Pride, let me explain. No. Let me explain, Pride. What Trey be trying to say, give credit to. Trey trying to give credit to teams out there, the USCs and all of that, and trying to make a case for them to be a harder conference than the S or not
Whoa,
necessarily.
Wait. To Trey's defense. Don't sit up here and I'm tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Don't sit up here and talk about Texas year in and year fucking out. What the fuck has Texas done in the last 30 goddamn years? And then on top of that, you guys gonna jump on USC all the goddamn time. USC's doing bad right now, but let's not forget Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, and that whole goddamn Lindo White.
And that's all y'all can really name, man.
It don't matter. When's the last time Texas had that?
The last time Texas and USC played, we won, including that portion, which was against Lindell White, Reggie Bush, which was against that team that we played. I mean, I know we've been bad. I know. I'm a Texas
all
fan.
I want to hear is Vince Young.
It doesn't matter.
I knew that's where he was going with it.
All right.
Hey, the fourth down stop. What about the fourth down stop?
I don't care about the fourth down spot.
Hey, I care. That's a big moment in the game. I care. That's a
I want to see.
That was a big moment. We got the win off that.
You had a fajito sponsored. What was it? The chips. You had an Orange Bowl sponsor. I need to talk about
it don't matter about that.
No, it really does, because we're on the same level as USC is what I'm getting at. So don't.
No, I'm just saying. I know we've been struggling. But if you want to bring USC up and all that, Texas put an end to all that. Put an end to all that.
No, they did not. They did not.
All right. Hold on.
How do y'all figure that they didn't put an end to that? They did.
All they did was stop. Only thing that happened was Texas stopped USC from continuing their dynasty. After the fact, later on down the line, USC retooled a little and became another powerhouse.
We did too. We was able to make it back. Texas was able to make it back because we lost to Alabama in the national championship. So was able to make it back and be competitive. But I'm not denying the facts that we have been bad, though.
I like
that. I didn't deny that.
No, but
just like USC's been bad.
Is
it safe to say USC's been bad too? Aren't y'all?
Yes, that's my point. But Bishop, that's my point. Everyone puts USC in this trash can that's
because of permanence
off the market, correct? And then Texas gets this shoe in where they just had if they just needed this, we just need a change of coach. It's Texas gets all the goddamn extra bullshit they can possibly get, and it's stupid.
I don't hype them up. I'm a Texas Longhorn fan. I don't hype them up.
USC and Texas is about as irrelevant as each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Oh my God, real quick. Oh my God.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Facts.
All right. So let me just run down Alabama versus Cincy, Michigan versus Georgia. I'm just gonna throw my stuff out there because I'm gonna be a cornball real quick. I want to be that guy. I got Cincy winning. I got Michigan winning, and then I got Cincy winning it all. Okay. My Chick-fil-A Bearcats.
You just trying to be that dude to pick opposite.
Bishop. Okay, bro. You guys watch that head coach. All right? Stop talking to me right now. All right?
We got one. We got one. Mike Venables. Let's go.
We intact.
Hey, so you guys realize that Manny Diaz just got fired. They finally announced it. They let go of Manny Diaz over there in Miami, and it looks like Miami is putting together a lucrative offer to summons Mr. Oregon's coach to come on over.
Mario Cristobal.
Yes, Cristobal. Again, they're reaching in the Pac-12 bag. I'm telling y'all, it's where it's at. It's just we're way more competitive.
Bishop. We moved on from the conversation.
Hey, I'm back for this.
Hey, Jay want to solidify the fact. Jay want to solidify the fact, bro.
You should just let me go, because what I was about to say, they solidify the situation. And that's the same reason why what Pride just said is an unpopular opinion, because Cincinnati is not in one of those big conferences. But let's be honest, guys. They have a decent defense. The defense does what they need to do when the lights are on and it's time to get it done. And they're putting up goddamn 40 points a freaking game.
And that honestly, that's why I like Cincinnati. Look, Cincinnati, this is the best comparison. Cincinnati is how the Chiefs should be playing. You got a phenomenal offense, and your defense, you know, they will hold you down when you need them. They're an opportunistic defense. They're not going to, you know, shut you down the entire game, but there's going to be those, you know, those 9 to 15 crucial plays that you need stops. Cincy's going to get them. They're going to hold it down when it matters the most.
Yes.
And I'll be, look, like I said, originally I had Georgia. I really did. But I low-key want to be that guy. So I'm going Cincy, and then I'm going Michigan. And
so the only reason why I can agree with you, Pride, the only reason why I can agree with you with Cincy beating Alabama is because one of the main things in which Jay said, and a lot of people know, offense. Alabama hasn't played Cincy, so they don't know what to expect. So when you haven't played a team, you can look at film all day. You can look at film all day, and you can try to prepare the best way you know how. But the thing of the matter is that Cincy team is also looking at.
But Bishop,
But I mean, hold on, real quick, Jay. Hold on, Jay. Real quick, let me ask you a question, Bishop. Because you said Alabama's never played Cincy. Cincy has never played Alabama. So don't you think that low key washes out?
No. This is the reason. Hold on.
Go ahead, Jay.
This is what I was actually going to comment on. Because now we talk about, okay, it comes down to what? It comes down to film. Who controls the film? The coach. Who designs the game plans after that? The coach. Who has the best coach in the world? Alabama. So, you know, when you get down to breaking it down like that, Bishop, that's where I get scared.
Right.
But the one thing about Alabama this year, to me, they haven't faced both. They haven't faced an offense that can overpower their high-powered offense.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't faced the defense that could actually keep up with the game. And see, to me, every time that they played someone that had a decent offense, their defense was like trying to hang on. To hang on because their offense was decent. It wasn't great. So every time their defense gave up something, their offense has to work extra hard. This is completely opposite. Cincy has a better offense than they have defense.
Defense, facts.
This is going to be a high-powered game. This is going to come down to which defense gets the stops at the crucial moments.
Okay? And
who has the ball last?
To piggyback off each other, I think there's two ways I see this game going. Either Alabama just blows the doors off them, or I think Cincy wins a close game. Since I'm going with Cincy, I think it's going to be a close game.
Oh yeah.
But Trey, I see you shaking your head. Obviously, you got Bama winning. Please explain to us why you are disappointed and why you're about to leave the panel like my father left the day I was born.
So it's not that I have Alabama, but what I will say in the fact of the matter is Cincinnati now has his chance and controls his own destiny.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it's on them, baby. That's it. Yep. That's it. It's like 100%. They have the opportunity now to show, like, yes, we deserve to be in this conversation, just like Boise State years ago.
Yes,
was trying to get into it and couldn't get it because they couldn't finish it before during the BCS era. So now Cincinnati is in. They're at the dance. Hey, they get to when they sit up and get there, when they get pointed to, when it's their time, they're going to either shine or they're going to fall off. I'm always down with the underdog. So I'm not going to say Alabama guarantee. I'm still, the jury's still out at this point on all 4 teams a little later. But what's definite and what's very prevalent is Cincinnati will have its opportunity to show the world that they deserve to be in this conversation.
But let me ask this, though. If Cincinnati, when Cincinnati plays Alabama, and this is mainly for Trey and Jay, when Cincinnati plays Alabama and Cincinnati goes into this game and gets blown out by, say they get blown out by Alabama, does that give reason for the committee to not put Alabama or not put Cincy at a higher position?
Yes.
So is that the reason? Will it, when it's all said and done? Because everybody says when it comes down to a census strength of schedule, since he doesn't play anyone, so forth and so on. If Cincy goes into this game and gets skull drugged by Alabama, does that make a case for the committee on why they did not put Cincy?
What it does, unfortunately, is it basically gives the committee the fuel to say this is why we didn't.
Right,
and it's
that's
unfortunate. Yeah, that's what I think it does. Because unfortunately, what's going to happen is it's only one game in which they have an opportunity, and so it's like at one point Alabama wasn't the dominant Alabama that they are now, and saying so it took over a amount of time for them to show, and we're starting to see, and saying it started. Even though I don't care for Alabama too much, but I mean it is, but saying proof is in the pudding, and what you see now is Nick Saban is a pretty good coach, and so ultimately, which was just like Jay was saying, he's true enough is going to be X's and O's and videos, but you giving Nick Saban a month to game plan, to break you down, to look, and then also saying so you can show something different in the actual game, but he's pretty good at saying his freestyle game is pretty nice. Like he's gonna ride the beat, and in that game he's gonna be like, you know what, I don't want this track, switch it up. No, let's go acapella. No, speed it up. So I mean, he's doing what he has to do. Like a prosecutor, when he gets in that courtroom, like you think is an open shut case, and then next you done got your man's off when he was guilty as hell. That's Nick Saban on the football field.
And before I let you go, Jay,
Johnny Cochran type.
To go, that's one part of Nick Saban's coaching game that people don't talk about. They always talk about the preparation and the planning, all that stuff. But I've said this before as jokingly, but now I 100% believe it. Nick Saban is so great that he cannot prep nothing. He can ignore all the film in the world, and he'll watch the first quarter and then make all the necessary adjustments and still keep his team in the game. A lot of people don't understand that, like, when Nick Saban makes that game plan, he understands there's a legitimate chance I'm going to have to just all this, I'm going to have to crumple it up, throw it away, and do something brand new on the spot and make sure it works. And that's something about Nick Saban's coaching game that no one really talks about. And look, obviously, when it comes to Cincy versus Alabama, Alabama's going to have the coaching advantage. Not even close. You know what I mean? I think Nick Saban is the best. However, I don't know, man. I don't know. Me personally, I just feel like Cincinnati just doesn't get respect. That's really all it really comes down to. You know what I mean? And I feel like the only way they'll get respect is if, they come out here, handle their business. We'll see if they do. And to touch on your point, Bishop, real quick, because you said about, the whole strength of schedule thing. It's funny. Cincinnati had played weak teams, right? That's the argument people were saying. They played weak teams, therefore they're a weak team. Mm-hmm. So now this is why I constantly say, if you believe in strength of schedule, and that's the number one thing, you're an idiot. Because if they played a weak schedule and they're a weak team, but then Alabama beats them, all of a sudden, Cincinnati was the greatest fourth seed in the history of college playoff. And this team was phenomenal. And every skills position is going to be, this should be the number one draft, all this stuff. So to me, it's just this weird thing where, like, Cincinnati's trash until Alabama wins. And then all of a sudden, Cincinnati was the second coming of Jesus. All of a sudden, everybody in Cincinnati is phenomenal. They all should have been drafted when they were in their Pampers. And it's going to be this whole thing. So, it is what it is. Jay, did you want to touch on Bishop's question?
Yeah. So, I think it actually is opposite. I think what it's going to do is kind of showcase the failure that the college football, that college football as a whole has had over the last few years. They failed to adapt to the changes. They failed to keep up with the Joneses of what's really going on out here. There's a way of looking at this. Let's look at the NFL and how they just made adjustments to the way they schedule. Okay, we got the number one seed of the regular season. Next year, they're going to play, the top tier of the divisions. And they're going to have a couple of bottom feeders, but we're going to flip-flop. We're not going to keep this same rotation. We're going to increase and move around teams so we can increase the competition level. So this is my thing. All right, let's take an example. Eastern Carolina. Eastern Carolina killed shit last year. Killed it. And you can mark my words. Go back to my videos last year. I said they should have had a shot. Now, a la this year, they didn't have the best season. What they should have had, though, was someone in that top 10 in their schedule. Next year, Cincinnati should have someone in the top 5 in their schedule. Alabama should have someone in this playoffs in their schedule next year besides Georgia. So we need a Cincinnati. They need to play in Michigan.
So if they did stuff like that, that's when strength of schedule could matter.
So
that's when it matters. When you start spreading it out like that, that's when it legitimately matters. 100%.
So what they do that. They do that, but we have to take in mind these schedules are made like 3 or 4 years in advance. So
Correct.
There's no, what I'm saying. So the only way that you can proceed like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Like it's been plenty of times in like the last 10 years, USC has played Alabama twice. We both got walloped both times. But the thing is, it was predetermined. Like, okay, they played them. At the time, USC wasn't who they was prior to when Alabama put them on the schedule, and it just so it didn't pan out. But they put these schedules together so like 3 to 4 years, 5 years in advance, and so by the time you get to play the Alabamas and all this type of stuff, your team might not be the team that it was. Yeah, that's that time.
But here's the thing.
To the point, if you're making the schedule 3-4 years prior. If that's how you're making the schedule, how can you then say strength of schedule is the end all and be all when the process to make it is just bizarre?
We're not talking about professionals. We're talking about college football. We're talking about there's a lot of other things that go involved with two teams playing that have never played. No, there's a lot to go into it. So I'm not trying to be irrational or come up with something that's unable to happen. But there's ways to do this. Okay, schedule your stuff 4 or 5 years in advance. But there's 2 premier TBA weeks. There's 2 premier TBA weeks every year to where those are slotted based on your finishing and your peers' finishings. So again, Cincinnati, let's rewind 5 years ago, they're not in this conversation. They're slotting people that are right outside, the Louisiana Lafayettes, the teams like that fell right outside of that top 25 at the end of the year. Let's put them in those guys. Then now we got Cincinnati coming in this year. They made it so next year I need to see Cincinnati play a Michigan State or a Michigan. I need to see Cincinnati play, Oregon or Alabama or a Georgia. I need someone in the top 10 to play Cincinnati next year. You see, because you make this run, and this is the fucked up part about this. You make this run. Cincinnati made this run. They're in the playoffs. Let's say they go to the big game and they lose. They finish second. Next year, they're fucked again. Everything they just did to build is evaporated.
It's
evaporated. So that's what's fucked up about the way it's set up. These teams can't build the dynasties the same way the Alabamas can, because Alabama's in the national championship in the BCS. So when they pick up the phone and call that youngster that they're trying to recruit, they say, "You've seen us there this year, right? We'll be there next year." Cincinnati said, "Hey, we finally made it." Hopefully they see that and they mess with us again in the next 2 to 3 years. That's a different conversation in recruiting. That's a different conversation for a kid that wants to be on primetime television. That's a different conversation for a kid that wants to make it to the NFL and be seen. That's a different conversation. And that's why these teams are able to do this.
I get where Jay's coming from with that. I totally understand. But at the same time, say Cincinnati does make it to, the national championship game and they end up, second or whatever. Doesn't that, help? For me, I feel like the committee, you have to, when it comes into the when it comes into the new season for the 2022 season to start up, you have to put Cincinnati at least within the top 10. This is my say, because of the fact of where they made it. They were number 2 in the nation if they were to make it to the final game and lose out. They made it. So you should have them automatically in the top 10. Because of how they ended 2021 this season. So they there's no way, which I agree with you, Jay. There's no way it will be a race, probably. But they should not be out of the top 25. In my personal opinion, they should be in the top 10 without question.
So I don't think they're gonna get the top 25, but I do think they should. They're gonna probably be a top. But one of the main reasons why they're not gonna get a top 10 is because this is Ritter's senior season, and he's not gonna be there next year.
That's real, and that's
okay, and that's fair. That's fair. I get that.
But
I get that.
But again, here's my problem, Bishop. Even when they go ahead and make him and put them in the top 10, the preseason rankings don't matter, because I'm gonna show you why. Week 4, we come in. Let's say Michigan goes to Michigan State. They're both undefeated. Michigan's ranked in the top 4 because they're both on, because Michigan went through this last season.
Right.
Michigan State beats Michigan. Mm-hmm. No matter what Cincinnati's at right then, they're above Michigan. They're above Cincy. Then you got Georgia, Alabama. Let's say Arkansas does better next year.
Right.
Arkansas will automatically propel themselves in front of Cincinnati. I can say put 6 to 7 scenarios right now. If Oklahoma has a good season, they're ahead of Cincy. Like all these teams, it's a matter of it's gonna happen. By week 6, you put them in the top 10. By week 6, they're outside the top 10. People are arguing. People are yelling at the freaking the weekly rankings, and we're back in the same position.
So currently, Cincinnati, because since we're talking about Cincinnati for the most part, currently right now their non-conference schedule has Kennesaw State, Miami of Ohio, Indiana, and Arkansas.
Oh, see, that Arkansas one saved their ass.
Right there. I was about to say the same thing. That Arkansas game right there. Yep. It's the Arkansas game
that saved their ass.
Yep. Which makes a difference.
What week would that be? Did it show?
No, it just says that just has their opponents.
I don't
okay.
And then of course the American Athletic Conference, which includes Houston for the most part. So,
which Houston is another good team.
But see, so they're relying on Arkansas having a good season.
Oh, correct. You know what? It did show. It don't show what week, but it has them playing. The Arkansas is actually the first game, one of the first games in the season. That's Indiana is the 24th. Those are all September games, basically.
Yeah, that's
beginning of the season. Yeah. Beginning of the season.
I know it has to happen that way because of the conferences and stuff, but they need it more towards the back end or middle for it to be a significant win.
Right. Right. Yeah, because if it's too early, it really don't matter. Yeah. Facts.
Unless Arkansas becomes a hot team and they have them that they beat them and now they're number.
But
15,
like Jay say, being that they played them in the beginning of the season, it don't matter because if Arkansas become a hot team, it'll be the fact that they played them at the beginning of the season, not when they were a hot team.
Correct. So then me, you, and Bishop are gonna be over here like, yeah, they should be up there, and then the college football people are gonna be like, nope, it was week 1.
Yeah,
right. They didn't even get off the bus. They still had their shit packed.
But see,
real quick, Trey, before I let you go.
Go ahead.
Here's the problem with the rankings, right? The problem is if you watch college football and you understand it, you know the rankings are just nothing's going to be perfect, but they're ridiculously flawed. Like the logic is inconsistent. The standards are weird for one team and not the other. Your quality wins matter until they don't. Who you are matters more. Like all this stuff, right? The problem with the committee is people who just watch the occasional bowl game and they're casuals and they just want to watch it. You know, they watch the team they went to, or maybe they live in a place where there's no other sport whatsoever, and college football is really the only football sport that's nearby that they can root for. Then there's the people who just don't watch it, and they just want to just look at the scores and watch the occasional bowl game because it's cool. The problem is that the casual people are encouraging the committee, because every time the committee puts something out, they automatically just regurgitate. And Bishop, you were there a few weeks ago. Somebody in the chat, literally, when we were talking about Michigan and Michigan State, somebody in the chat literally just regurgitated what the committee said, and we said they're wrong. And then instead of saying, okay, well, I've heard it from them, they just doubled back and said, oh, well, I'm not saying it. Like, that to me is one of the big problems, because when the committee is just doing something wrong, right? Mm-hmm. And you have some people supporting you, talking about, no, you're right. they're not gonna want to change because in their mind they're like, "Yo,
you're going in the right direction. You're saying the right things, and I'm gonna add to that because you're moving there. And someone said it to me the other day. So the media, big time media, is gonna play what people talk about, good or bad. Yep. Every time college football posts on Monday, they fucking break the internet.
Every time.
Every darn time. You know why? Because it's asinine. It's blasphemy.
It's absurd.
It's ridiculous. It's disrespectful.
Yes.
Yep.
How does Stephen A. Smith make it?
Asinine.
Outlandish. Ridiculous. Disrespectful. That's what we
real
pay
quick,
for,
Jay,
guys.
before I let you hold on real quick, Jay, before I let you go, because Damien asked a question. The reason there's a whole bunch of them is because there's a badonkadonk zillion college programs out there.
Facts.
You can't have two conferences.
Yeah, you
There's
can't
no way.
because there's just so many that they have no choice but to break it down like that. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? You know, tell me where Wichita State is.
Yeah, for real, right? Yeah.
Tell me where Appalachian State is.
Yeah, good question.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
tell me those things, and then you slide them into the correct conference.
Ball State.
You know what I mean?
Where's Ball State at? Yeah.
So,
Ball State.
When we look at these things, we have to be, aware of why we're dealing with it. You know what I mean? Like we can't send the boys from Alabama to North Dakota to play North Dakota State. It ain't gonna work.
Right.
No one's going to North Dakota to play football like that. And if they
unless all of a sudden they become godly. Like,
no. I'm not no disrespect to North Dakota, but it's not a prime time place to play football.
Play football.
So
not for Alabama. For their Division 3, Division 2.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I was getting at, Trey.
Right.
We have to break it down by a lot of different elements when we talk about college football. How many people, those type of things. So that's why. But no, Pride, you were going in the right direction, man. Until we stop, and I'm gonna tell you, taking it a little bit further. This last 2 years, this pandemic has changed, has started a change in the way sports media is going to be conducted going forward. This pandemic has started a change because now there's people like us. There's people like us out there all around that are able to give real takes, that are able to give, Sunday, Saturday, 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, bar talk over a beer, actual takes. And those are some of the most truthful takes you can get as a sports 100%. Fan.
Because the thing is like when we say stuff, we stand by it.
It's not even just stand by it. It's not even just stand by it, Pride, because people will stand by ignorance all the fucking day. That don't make them fucking right. You know what I mean? It's not about just standing by it. I feel like
that was a low-key shot at me.
No, not at you at all. No, not at you. This is hey,
are you still mad
we're
at me or something?
No, we're together in this.
Are you mad at Horiguchi over Pettis still? Are you still mad about that?
I ain't mad. Horiguchi mad. He sleep still. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't mad. No, but at the end of the day, we got guys like yourself, Pride, Coach Dante, Bishop, Trey, the con man down there, and myself. We're all on this panel coming from just different areas around this world and collectively coming together and spitting knowledge about the game, erasing the bias, erasing what the standards of the media wants, erasing what the narrative that they want to push. You're not going to turn on this channel and see Tom Brady and then LeBron, and then it's not going to go like that. And that's what happens when you turn on the media. That's what happens when you turn on ESPN. That's what happens when you turn on Fox Sports. Yeah. So again, we're changing the narrative. The narrative is changing as we speak. And once that changes, Bishop, Trey, these conversations going to be different. We're going to be talking about, okay, Cincinnati is 12-0. They do have the ability to get into the college football playoffs. What is stopping them? What do they need to do to continue this drive? Instead of they should be in there. Why the hell are they fucking 10th?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
That's the direction we're going in.
Right, you know what I mean? Because again, at this point, I just hope one day, when like like again, I already said what I had to say on it.
Hey, probably real quick, I forgot to put something in. So I want to make sure that we shout out, the HBCU, give the HBCU love. Shout out to Deion Sanders and Jackson State with their championship win. Deion taking them to 11-1 as a first year coach. Much respect. Shout out to that.
Fact, shout out to him. But hold on, real quick. Remember, they're dog shit because they don't play anyone ranked. Did you guys know that? This is ridiculous, bro.
You can't even put them in the same category.
No, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
Can you not? You don't think so? You can't put them?
You can't.
Oh,
so I'm a big shout out to Damien right there. We appreciate you, Damien.
Good looks, Dame.
No doubt.
Shout out to Damien. Shout out to you, Damien.
Hey,
no, Trey. Now that you brought that up,
real quick, this is gonna be corner. Shout out. This is gonna be corny. Shout out to our very own Dame Dollar. Let me know when y'all get it. All right, go ahead. I'm done talking now. Go ahead.
So that's what I mean. So I bring that up because I think that's a big disparity. Like, true enough. Like, if you play against. Every dog has his day. So what I'm saying? It's the possibility that you were saying these big names, like we was just talking about the North Dakota States and now JSU, like who's to say that if they had an opportunity or if they was to play one of these teams, like if they put together all NCAA where all the damn national champions for those divisions, NCJ, like and put them in and let them go at it and see what it comes about.
Like a tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a round robin. Like, yeah.
Hey, okay, now, Trey, I'm glad you brought that up because Notre Dame ain't doing shit.
They're not.
HBCUs in these type of areas need a boost.
I agree.
Why not throw them to Notre Dame? I was in there.
Replace them for Notre Dame.
No, fuck it. Don't replace them. Make Notre Dame go down to Grambling. Make Notre Dame go down to Jackson State. Make Notre Dame go down there.
I like that too. I like that too.
So isn't that like JSU is a Division I school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if the committee was to vote them as such, then that would happen. But we all know the committee isn't doing that.
That'll never happen.
Think what they did to UTSA.
Just like UTSA, that will never happen.
So think how far down the total polling. So think how far down that JSU is in the
further than UTSA.
Because Fairview, who would have beaten the championship, wasn't a bad team either. They was like so. It's like
But you know what? All this comes down to money, y'all.
That's really what it is, and that's why I said
the story.
But Jay, that's what I was saying earlier in regards to that's why they put them in the position in which they put them because
this ranking is just based on money. That's it.
Yeah, they want that rematch between Georgia and Alabama for the national championship. That's why they put them the way they put them. That's the look they want.
If you break it down, go ahead, Trey, because you've been trying to get it off.
No, I was about to say something, but it comes down like this. So there's money to be made, true enough, but there's because you got the black dollar, which is making money. So I'm not going to say I'm very sure that there's ratings to be that's pulling in money for them, just not big ratings because they're on those like the back channels, Fox Sports and all that type of stuff. The stuff on mainstream. So I think it's just like anything else. At one point, we weren't where we were where it comes to money and ratings. So it's probably to be as money to be made as coming. Is just those organizations and those institutions have to bring people in. Like if there can be more of the top rated names as they've been talking about and trying to get to go to those schools and stuff like that, then the conversation changes. So that's one of the things. So you know what I'm saying, get y'all kids out there to the HBCUs. Bishop will see gets ready to go, you know what I'm saying, play basketball. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So make sure she go to HBCU. Don't send her to Oklahoma.
No, because of the simple fact that I know where you're coming from, Trey. But the thing is, it's really unfair because don't get me wrong, you get the onesies and twosies. I believe who was it? I think it was Jerry Rice that came from HBCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get those that do make it into the NFL. You know what I'm saying? That do make it. But they don't get the recognition. Yeah. You just don't get those. You don't get those looks at those HBCU teams like you probably should. Don't give me. There are some people that are in the NFL. There are some players that are you know, from HBCUs that's in the NFL, but it's not like it is from like the Notre Dames and the Stanfords and the USCs, the Oklahomas, the Alabamas, the Georgias. It's just
the
not
other
there.
thing though. The other thing though is they don't have the same type of backing from their alumni.
Agreed, but that's because of money, though, right, Jay? That's money.
No, but that's the point. But the Alabamas get money from their alumni.
Yeah,
right.
But that's what they got money, but it's not long enough.
It's not long enough.
No, and that's my point.
It's a way.
And that's my
point.
point. Yeah. Now look at this too. On the flip side of the CFB, if you look at the previous college football playoffs, one thing in common, every one of those teams, besides like your Boise States, have some of the biggest stadiums ever.
Oh, of course,
they have some of the biggest television deals ever.
Huge. Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, we can talk about everything we want to. But until college football makes it about college football, none of this shit.
Not about money.
That's what I'm saying. And that's and listen, bro.
It's not about strength of schedule. It's not about who you play. It's not about who you recruit.
And right here, funny part, Jay, right here, funny part. Right here, funny part. The same people who are crying because Pride said it are the same ones who are applauding you and saying, "Yo, that kid is smart. That kid is smart." I'm telling you, bro. Some people look. I already went enough in it. The committee's stupid as shit. They need to get.
But that's the thing, Pride. But that's the thing. The people that come at and defend it are the casuals.
Yes.
Do you know who runs? Probably about 75 to 80% of the money that's in sports. The casuals.
Right.
The casuals.
And it's funny that y'all say that. Y'all realize why Notre Dame's in the position that they're in. Because they have a huge media rights deal
with all these companies.
Puts them, hence the reason why they stay independent, because they choose and do it. It's been thriving for revenue. Yeah, they don't have to share their revenue. It's all them. So they're independent and it's working for them. It's like it's definitely, I hate cliches, but it's definitely one of those, if it ain't broke, why fix it?
So let me ask you guys this: with them able to, with college players able to get money, receive sponsorships, receive those type of things. What if a school like, I'll just use ASU. What if a school like ASU had its fans get together and were like, man, we really want this recruit. Let's start a GoFundMe to recruit this guy. Do you think something like that would fly? Do you think college football would try to step in? Do you think, like, you know what I mean? Because I think we're moving towards those type of things.
Right. And
I absolutely think the college football would step in. I think they would step in and prevent that from happening, because it puts a damper on what, I feel like it put a damper on what they are doing. You know what I'm saying? As the NCAA. So I definitely feel like that wouldn't be something. Even I know, because I feel like if that was the case, I feel like it would have even happened already, Jay. I feel like certain schools feel the exact same way we feel. Yes, feel the exact same way we feel about it, and they feel like, I'm sure there's some people out there who are boosters who have money who could actually do that and say, "Hey, we finna put our money."
That's exactly what would happen. The boosters would be able to slide in there, and you wouldn't be able to stop it. So it would start to monopolize that industry. So they have to keep
Yeah, and that would be my thing. If you could find a way where you could put a cap on it, maybe.
There ain't a way.
I'm just saying. I'm talking about like the whole GoFundMe thing you were talking about. Like,
that's what I'm saying. There ain't a way to cap that. It would be you guys are saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if there was any legitimate way to, I feel like you'd be able to use that to give the smaller schools, a chance at these guys. So. You know what I mean?
It would only last for about 2 years, and then the schools like Alabama would be like, "Watch this."
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be loopholes, just like it would be loopholes.
Hey, for real, somebody get delivered a Lamborghini with a helicopter or something to their front lawn.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, you guys are funny. But this has been another episode of ASAP in the morning. It's been a solid 2 hours.
Did we pick tonight's game, Brian?
You said what now?
Did we pick tonight's game? Did I miss
For
that?
what?
The Monday night's game. Did we pick
For the Monday night's game? Oh, I thought did it? I'm pretty sure we did. But you know what?
Did we?
Let me just play with y'all real quick. Spit it to me. Who you got? Jay, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, real quick, just spit out the Monday night game. It is the greatest organization to ever grace God's green earth. The New England Patriots.
That's
Again,
why we ain't do it yet. He saved the best for last. I see you, Pride. Let's get it.
We will travel. You know, we're gonna have to
Buffalo.
travel a lot. This is gonna be a tough road trip to get there, but we gotta go all the way to Buffalo.
Buffalo all the way. Yeah, all the way.
Listen, y'all.
So Patriots at Buffalo. Real quick, Jay, who you got?
I'm sorry. But even with Thomas Edward Patrick Brady leaving, I still hate the Patriots. It still ain't changed. I hope that I see some tables broken.
Where's that mute button?
I hope I see the tables broken in Buffalo during their tailgating parties. I want to see some tables broken. I want to see some beers popped and some tables broken in Buffalo. And I want to see a Buffalo Bills win. Let's go, Josh Allen.
Coach, who you got?
I got the New England Patriots winning this game 30-17 New England.
Yes, sir, Trey.
Bills Mafia, son.
Okay. All right. Bishop.
Hey man, I gotta go with Josh Allen too, man. They playing at home. I feel like they just gonna give New England a
look. He's taking names. He's just waiting for tomorrow morning. Look at him.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
I got the Bills.
I'm chilling.
I got the Bills.
Michael, who you got? You got Buffalo or New England?
Buffalo.
Okay.
Hey.
He gonna be like, hey, we not gonna start the show till y'all give me my apologies.
I'm telling y'all this right now. When the New England Patriots win, I'm telling you right now, I'm coming up here tomorrow morning and probably gonna be stupid sloppy. That's what I'm gonna call it, bro. Watch.
And
watch.
if they lose, I want your whole face.
I'm sick. I'm sick.
I'm the whole face painted red.
Sick.
Yeah, the whole
if they
face.
lose, I'm sick.
Bishop, he may not show up if they lose. He may not show up. He may not.
show up.
Hey yo, you know what it is? He gonna take over.
Hey,
It gonna be the debut of Lil Pride. What you talking about,
Hey,
dog?
listen, y'all. I gotta squeeze this in. So me and Pride was doing the Bellator fights the other day on Friday.
Forgive me for that.
Man, me and Pride are here going back and forth about the Sergio Pettis and Ferragucci fight. I told him, I said, man, I got Pettis. He said, Serragucci, his son. Out of the blue, Dad took off Pettis.
He was mad, and then just to test it, because I was like, nah, he messes. So I was like, bet. I was like, just as a joke. I said, I got Pettis winning. Dude was mad silent. I was like, all right. And I was like, nah, I'm joking. I got Hiraguchi. And all of a sudden, and I'm like, hey, yo, relax, son. Like,
hey, Little Pride know where it's at. Tell him, Little Pride, Buffalo.
Bet. All right, bet. Keep that energy.
Like I'm
just saying.
Also, hey, Trey,
Yes,
real quick. You know today is Monday, right?
Yes.
Wasn't Pride supposed to have something for Monday?
What was I supposed to have for Monday?
You're supposed to have the proof, the
The
receipts.
proof about.
Oh, I forgot about that. All right, so
I didn't.
Even more so,
it's fine.
what was supposed to happen is you're supposed to have an apology. That's what you're supposed to have.
That's what I'm saying.
I told you I was gonna write nothing.
Let's go.
So I made some accusations. No evidence has been brought up to prove it.
He sounds like
none at all. So this is the equivalent of me slandering the good name of both Trey and Bishop. It was very immature for me to do. It is something I should not have done. Trey, I apologize. Bishop, I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I did not mean to slander your names. And next time in the future, not only will I refrain from doing it, before I make any accusations, I will have the evidence. So that way, no embarrassment will bequest my name ever again. Is it good enough for you, fine gentlemen?
I appreciate it.
Greatly appreciate it, Pride.
I appreciate it. I knew I hadn't said nothing crazy like that. Let go.
I forgot all about it, bro. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna catch y'all slipping one day.
Not like y'all caught Freddie.
Freddie was caught red-handed. Yeah,
red-handed. But that's enough for us. It has been your boy Pride. On behalf of Jay, Coach Dante, Trey, Bishop, and Michael, we will be back here tomorrow morning. We'll see you on the next one. Be safe.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.